Hello, I am Kevin Roach, General Manager, and on behalf of the entire staff, I welcome you to ecomaine. We look forward to the results of your work here, but before you begin, we require that you know the rules and procedures designed for your personal safety, our environmental safety, and for a harassment-free workplace. Please pay very close attention to this training video and be aware that you will be accountable for your actions while here at ecomaine. Failure to follow these procedures may result in your removal from the premises. After viewing this video, you must add your signature to a form to acknowledge your completion of our video training. This form, a packet of information, and a training confirmation sticker for your hard hat will permit you to work here until the end of the current calendar year. All this will be provided by your primary contact here at ecomaine, who will also answer any questions that you may have. Thank you for your attention.
ecomaine manages its health and safety issues using an international occupational health and safety management system known as OSAS 18001. We first obtained this certification in 2012 and are allowed to retain it only with semi-annual rigorous on-site inspections by a third-party auditor. Therefore, contractors and vendors are obligated, as indicated on all contracts and accounting materials, to meet or exceed expectations based on the ecomaine OSAS system. We also require that speed limits and other traffic signs on ecomaine property be obeyed. All ecomaine employees are forbidden to accept gifts or special favors from contractors, vendors, or from others with whom they work. You are expected to ask ecomaine about hazards in your work area, and to the extent possible do a brief job-specific hazard analysis of your own to share with others working in the same area. Prior to bringing any chemical on site, you must provide ecomaine with a material safety data sheet. An inventory of chemicals as well as other material safety data sheets is available through your ecomaine contact. Wherever you work at ecomaine, you must wear a hard hat, safety glasses, work gloves, and steel-toed boots. When working with chemicals, you are required to wear aprons, chemical-resistant gloves, and face shields. With liquid chemicals, double eye protection is required. Check with the material safety data sheet as needed. And you must not wear baggy or torn clothes, loose jewelry, long hair that is loose, or neckties unless under clothing. While working at the waste-to-energy plant and the landfill, remember that lead, cadmium, and other metals are present in the ash and may exist above OSHA permissible air levels. We strictly enforce the ban on eating or drinking outside of the designated areas, and when you move to a dust-free area, be sure to wash your hands and face before eating, drinking, or smoking. Wherever you are or whatever you're doing, keep dust levels as low as possible and wear appropriate respirators when dust is in the air. Full-face HEPA respirators are mandatory for cleaning precipitator curtains or sandblasting. Half-face HEPA respirators are mandatory for inside combustion zones, inside air pollution control equipment, all ash cleaning, both inside and outside, and areas with visible airborne ash or dust. Additional PPE may be required depending on the task. In dirty environments that contain lead, cadmium, and other contaminants, we strongly advise contractors to wear Tyvek suits over clothing and to dispose of them after use. As necessary, also use a vacuum on any exposed clothing. Never leave the facility with your clothing or shoes contaminated with ash or dust. Work performed on scaffolds and platforms higher than 4 feet requires use of a safety harness with a lifeline of appropriate length. Be sure to follow all safety directions detailed by the Scaffolding Erection Company permit. Before working on any power-driven equipment, you must first obtain a written permit from an ecomaine site supervisor. Specific sources of energy will need to be identified and locked in the isolated position by an ecomaine employee. Then, each log must be tagged with written information, which must always include a phone number before work can begin, and it must be removed when work is completed. A detailed lockout-tagout procedure is available in writing, including instructions and parameters for group situations. If your company has its own lockout-tagout procedure, we will be happy to follow that as well. By definition, a confined or enclosed space has limited entry and exit and is therefore more subject to accumulation of hazardous substances than open spaces. Identifying signage has been posted at the entrances to such spaces at ecomaine. Never enter a manhole, pumping station, or other confined space without following all confined space entry procedures. Before entering a confined space, all the following procedures and equipment must be in place: lockout-tagout, personal protection equipment, respiratory protection, hazard communication, attendant or standby person stationed at the entrance, and ecomaine permit. Remember that only work which is specified and authorized in the permit may be performed. If your work changes, you must see an ecomaine supervisor. If you would like to have a printed copy of ecomaine's confined space policy, please see your primary contact. Hot work is any temporary operation involving an open flame, action that produces sparks or extremely high heat. Before beginning any hot work, you must ask a supervisor if a permit from ecomaine is needed. Examples of locations that require hot work permits are in the tipping halls, on the outside wall of the waste-to-energy plant, in or near the waste-to-energy bunker, near stored bales of recycling materials, near recycling equipment, near storage sites for chemicals, propane, diesel, gasoline, oil, or any combustible materials. And there are more, so talk with an ecomaine site supervisor before doing any hot work at any location. Smoking is allowed outside only in the specifically designated areas. Check with your ecomaine contact for specific locations. Should unsafe conditions develop, you will need to follow ecomaine's emergency evacuation plan. To ensure your safety, you must exit the building whenever an alarm sounds, or you see a strobe light. Please take time to become familiar with the primary and secondary escape routes in the area where you will be working. In the waste-to-energy plant, escape routes are posted at every level of the center stairwell, between the two boilers. In that stairwell, from the 7th floor to the 2nd floor, there are emergency air packs located next to the escape route postings. Other waste-to-energy stairwell exits are located next to the elevator, next to the outside walls of the operation area offices and lunchroom, and next to the outside walls of the administrative offices. Emergency exits from the recycling plant are through garage bay doors at ground level, the center stairwell, and through an outside door in the administrative lunchroom area. Exits at the landfill office are through doorways at the front and south side of the building. Wherever you are doing an emergency evacuation, whether inside or outside, you must proceed to the designated gathering area for that facility where each person has to be accounted for. At the waste-to-energy plant, that gathering area is directly across the parking lot from the front door of the administrative section. If you are at the recycling facility, gather outside the upper-level parking area, furthest away from the building, next to the chain-link perimeter fence. At the landfill, meet in the office parking area at the front of the building. Wherever you are, you must individually report to the ecomaine supervisor or designated leader for an accurate accounting. Ecomaine's mission includes a strong commitment to sustainability and environmental responsibility. Since 2003, our commitment has been confirmed by our ISO 14001 certification for environmental management that meets the international organizational standards. You must report any spills to the ecomaine staff immediately. Ecomaine requires all contractors to adhere to the following: no firearms, illegal drugs, or alcohol on the premises. Activities must meet all applicable state, federal, and local regulations. Outside activities must include provisions for collecting dust and pollutants. Absolutely no discharge of waste or hazardous chemicals into any body of water, the tipping hall, waste bunker, furnace, interior drains, or to any storm drain at or near ecomaine. Discharging of refrigerants such as Freon is also strictly prohibited. No hazardous waste of any kind may be left at ecomaine. Check with a supervisor regarding the disposal or recycling of other items you may have, such as batteries, wood, plastic, sheetrock, hoses, large or long pieces of metal, and other items. Lastly, we want to impress upon you that ecomaine has zero tolerance for behavior that is aggressive, argumentative, or confrontational, and is cause for immediate removal from all our facilities. This also applies to harassment and intimidation based on sex, race, color, national origin, religion, age, sexual orientation, and physical or mental disabilities. If you have questions or think you have seen such behavior, immediately contact the Director of Finance and Administration.
Now that you've learned about ecomaine's safety, health, environmental, and behavioral requirements, be sure to sign the form in order to obtain your required training confirmation sticker. Should you have any questions pertaining to any of these topics, be sure to talk with your ecomaine primary contact. We thank you for your attention and look forward to a productive and safe working relationship.